Hello, everyone. We are in the less than lovely Hagfen. Do some questing here in Glenumbra today.
You could craft something nice with that.
Joran the Skald King. A Helger voice. Bard of Windhelm. Born in 2E 546 to Queen Mabajam Flamehair, Prince Joran grew up knowing that his elder sister Nirnhilda was fated to take the throne. A singer of rare talent in a culture that reveres the power of the human voice, Joran studied at Skald's retreat in the Isle of Gold outside Riften. There he learned all he could be taught by the most renowned bards in the Eastern Kingdom, who was dubbed the Skald Prince of Skyrim. Joran spent most of his youth in artistic and philosophical pursuits, cultivating a broad array of artists, artisans, and performers throughout eastern Skyrim and beyond. He spent time in Mournhold, Stormhold, Such, Elenir, and is even reputed to have visited Solitude, the capital of western Skyrim, in disguise. Though he claimed to have no interest in politics or the business of rule, his natural leadership qualities made him the unofficial leader of the creative community wherever he found himself. Though he received little formal schooling in the arts of arms and warfare, as little as a prince of Nords could manage anyway, traveling across Tamriel was always a dangerous activity. His travels taught him less orthodox ways of dealing with trouble. Joran was in Riften when the Akaviri of Dir Kamal assaulted the northeast coast of Skyrim in 2E 572. Joran and his closest comrades, the pack of bards, fought their way up the coast to Windhelm, arriving just in time to see its gates breached by the Akaviri. Joran hurled himself into the fray, street fighting being something he had experience with, but was unable to prevent the fall of the city and the slaying of Queen Mabjarn and Nirnhilda, the brief queen, who both went down fighting. Wounded and devastated, Joran barely escaped the sacking of Windhelm alive. Feeling for the first time the responsibility of his royal birth, he decided to appeal to the Greybeards for aid, and so made his way stealthily but quickly to High Hrothgar. For reasons that have not been divulged, the Greybeards decided to teach the Skald Prince a Thun, one that summons a hero from Sovngarde to fight for the tongue who uses it. But in Joran's voice, the Thun became a royal call of valor, and he summoned hero was none other than Wolfheart the Ash King. Together, Wolfheart and Joran, now claiming the title Skald King, rallied the Nords of eastern Skyrim, mustering an army from the Rift and the outer regions of Eastmarch, then fortifying Riften. Dir Kamal, moving south from Windhelm, found Riften defended by angry Nords, inspired by the presence of Wolfheart and eager to fight. So Dir Kamal bypassed Riften and marched on Mournhold, the Akaviri leader, assuming that the Nords would be glad to see him go. That choice was a fatal mistake. Joran and Wolfheart led their army in pursuit of the Akaviri force, and a Nord army entered Morrowind for the first time since the Battle of Red Mountain. The Akaviri army was caught at Stone Falls between the Nords and the Dunmer Legion led by Almalexia, but the outcome of the great battle hung in the balance until a surprise intervention from a phalanx of Argonian shellbacks led by a trio of reptilian battle mages. The Akaviri line was broken, and they were driven into the sea where they drowned by the thousands. The Ash King, his purpose fulfilled, returned to Sovngarde. In Windhelm, 3 weeks later, Joran was crowned High King in the throne room of the Palace of Kings. So Joran is one of the active leaders right now of the factions. This looks like a crafting set out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Misantho's Tower. Beware the power of Night's silence, the greatest achievement of the mad wizard Misantho. its influence still lingers in these tower ruins, so you can build that set on these pieces of equipment. We go visit Persine Shrine and not become a werewolf. Gross. Just watching them eat the dead is not my favorite thing. Okay. I don't want any of that. My husband has fallen in love with his werewolf tank. It was very effective, but terribly gross.
Good eye.
And he calls me racist because I don't respect werewolf culture. I disagree. The Witches of Hag Fen. Observations on the hags in Glenumbra's Hag Fens from the Journals of Benorian the Wanderer. 2E567. I arrived at a rather watery area as I traveled through Glenumbra. It was full of old trees and murky water. When I asked a local what this place was, he said, "This is the Hag Fens, a swamp, as anyone with eyes can plainly see." I asked what I might find within if I were to explore these fens. The fellow responded rather tersely, "Hags, you git? Why do you think we
Good
call it
thinking.
that?"
Let's
I do
thaw
enjoy
out a
speaking to the
little
natives.
before
It
we
always
get moving
adds an
again.
element of raw authenticity to my travels. When pressed to explain about the hags, the local told me that they were some sort of witch. Exciting news! I like researching the different ways that magic is employed across the land. I asked the taciturn fellow where I might find the ladies of the swamp, and he made a rather rude noise. "If you're fool enough to go looking for the ladies, as you call them, then head to the North Fens. Maybe they'll invite you to tea." Locals are always leery of those that use magic, but I'm sure the swamp witches would welcome some scholarly discussion. I found the area of the fens where the hags dwell. Unfortunately, I lost one boot, my walking stick, and one of my packs to the rather aggressive crocodiles that also call these fens home. But I can see some of the tree dwellings that I believe belong to the hags nearby. I've been observing from my hiding place behind a small shrub. My notes forthwith. Hags have some strange deformity and rely on a walking staff to get around. The hags appear rather unkempt and are obviously old. Hags apparently use materials found in these fens to craft attire that is rather rustic. There are a group of younger, prettier witches who do not abide with the elderly hags. Hags must send their menfolk off to work, as I have observed no male hags up to this point. Perhaps the males dwell in a separate camp? Note: ask hags about their menfolk. One of the hags nearest my observation post seems to be cooking something in a rather large cauldron. A bit of hot stew and a cup of tea would be welcome after my mishaps in the swampy fens. I shall approach slowly, so as to not startle the elderly lady. Notation from Wirris Gallian. We found a rather tattered Bosmer crawling out of the fens. He had barely survived an encounter with the hags and a crocodile or two. He was delirious and kept begging for tea and stew. We healed him and sent him on his way, although not before he attempted to proposition nearly every Wirres in our camp. He left some of his notes, which we have preserved, though his complete lack of wit with regard to local creatures and customs and his absurd observation skills do not bode well for him surviving another journey. Okay, I believe I can turn that. Okay, there's a marker for the shrines of her scene, and I don't need it marked. Make it go away. Oh wow, I can't make it go away. That is unfortunate. Huh. Yeah, supposed to be able to make it stop, but apparently I can't. Might be double marked by a mod. Okay. Come on now. I've discovered you. Go away now. No?
Building up a stash. Good thinking.
So you've come to the bog at last. I've waited for your arrival. It was written on the stones and in the sky.
You knew I was coming?
Fate has led you here, just as I have foreseen it. You wish to resolve the conflict between the Weird and the Coven. Mother Merc's anger and darkness run deep, even for a Hagraven. She's powerful, and leads the Coven through fear and pain.
How do I stop Mother Merc?
You'll need this charm to defeat her, for she can siphon vitality from even the strongest foe. Kill the lesser hags and drain their power into this charm. But use the charm only when Merc tries to siphon your life force. Don't waste its power.
I'll defeat Mother Merc.
You can find the hags to the west. Just protect that charm. It is your best defense against Mother Merc.
Can I ask you some questions?
Ask. I will answer what I can. Probably.
Well, you know, she sounds a lot like the voice actress who does Win in Dragon Age, so I like that. Why is Mother Merc your enemy?
Mother Merc opposes the Weirises. She's your enemy, not mine. I can see how her darkness twists and harms the world around her, though. Such terrible things she does.
I don't understand.
The struggle between Weird and Hag is as old as the swamp itself. Both sides have sought my help, but this is not my battle. You, however, have picked a side. I help you and indirectly become involved, just as it should be.
Who are you exactly?
I am called by many names. Mire Witch, Old Bog Crone, the Swamp Seer. You may simply call me Sibelic.
Are you a Weiris?
No, I come from the Reach, just like Mother Merc and Angoth. Not everyone who comes from the Reach seeks to do evil. The Weird are hospitable, so I reside with them. Yet I don't begrudge Mother Merc her wickedness. It was her path to choose.
How will the charm help me against Mother Merc?
Mother Merc uses dark magic. She will drain your life to restore her own vitality. The charm, once empowered, will reflect her magic back upon her. But you must use it at the correct time or it won't be of much help.
Okay. Siphon power from hag corpses. Aw, nasty.
Better overstocked than under. Better luck next time. Oh, wait.
It's not a good place
You
to
know
put
what
a
that's good
fire,
for.
you know.
Ah, you'll figure it out. Stay ready. Never know what else might be headed our way.
I guess. Hags. This is not a happy tree. Wow. Yeah. Oh. Sorry. I'm sorry, dead tree. That's wrong. Hey, frog! Pleasure to meet you. Way too many people decorate with skulls this way. I don't like it. Find and kill Mother Merc. I head up and get this way shrine. Okay, that is a, yeah, that's a dungeon. Spindle clutch. So can't go in there. It'd kill me. And it's a group event, so I would need to join a group. And I can't really film that. Maybe, I might try to film things with my, not film, record with my husband tanking, because that way he won't rush for fights ahead while I'm trying to talk to one of the NPCs, but I don't know, that's a big project. History of the Fighters Guild, Part 1. In the 283rd year of the Second Era, potentate Versuti Shai was faced with a disintegrating empire. The vassal kingdoms throughout Tamriel had reached a new height of rebellion, openly challenging his rule. They refused his taxes and led sorties against the imperial garrisons throughout the land. At the destruction of his fortress in Dawnstar, he gathered the imperial council in what would be called the Council of Bardmont, after the town south of Dawnstar where they met. There the potentate declared Catholic and universal martial law. Princes of Tamriel would dissolve their armies or face his wrath. The next 37 years were perhaps the bloodiest in the violent history of Tamriel. In order to crush the last of the royal armies, Versuti Shai had to sacrifice many of his best legions, as well as spend nearly every last piece of gold in the imperial treasury. But he accomplished the unthinkable. For the first time in history, there was but one army in the land, and it was his own. Problems that immediately surfaced were almost as staggering as the triumph itself. The potentate had impoverished the land by his war, but the vanquished kingdoms had also spent the last of their gold in defense. Farmers and merchants alike had their livelihood ruined. Before the princes of Tamriel would not pay his taxes, now they could not. The only persons who benefited from the war were criminals, who preyed upon the ruins of the lawless land. Without fear of arrest, now that all the local guards and militia were gone, it was a crisis the Akaviri had seen coming long before he destroyed the last of his subjects' armies, but for which he had no solution. He could not allow his vassals their own armies again, but the land was deeper into the stew of anarchy than it had ever been before. His army sought to fight the rise of crime, but a central authority was no threat against the local underworld. In the dawn of the year 320, a kinsman of Versuti Shai Daenerys Ves, the Iron, presented himself with a host of companions before the potentate. It was he who suggested an order of mercantile warriors for hire, who could be hired by nobility in lieu of a standing army. The employment would be temporary, and a percentage of their fees would go to the potentate's government, thus putting salve on two of Versutishi's greatest pains, though it was then called the Sifim, after the Sieski word for soldiers. The organization that was to be known as the Fighters Guild had been born.
Get down and be quiet. We don't want to give our position away. We're keeping an eye on these Red Rook bastards. They're not the simple bandits they pretend to be, that's for sure. If you want to help, go talk to Provost Piper.
Where can I find Provost Piper?
The Provost? He commands the Lion Guard camp near the old ruins. Tell him you want to help, and he'll probably give you a commission. We captured a Red Rook messenger. He was on his way to a secret meeting when we snatched up the lout.
Secret meeting?
Something about the Red Rooks and the Bloodthorns. The Provost can tell you more if you're really that interested. Now get out of here before you bring the entire bandit gang down on my head.
I'll talk to Provost Piper at the camp. Hello. Hi. Ah, such a cute boing. You've got some awesome boing going.
Useful. Hold on to that.
Mother Merc, I presume?
I feast on your life essence.
No. No, I don't think you do.
No surprises there.
Oh, they've got the Glenmoral Witch Head model right there from Skyrim. Aw, you guys. It's all... Wait, is there a book in... I was looking for a book. Should be a book. You look like a book, but you don't read like a book. Ah, okay, it's the Witches of Hagfen book. Alright.
Always worth stocking up.
And probably a letter I've already read. Let me see. Yeah, if I check the bigger map, I can always tell. Mini map doesn't update as often. Okay.
Ready to ride.
Let's go back to Win. Sibelic.
You have returned, and you are victorious, just as I have foreseen it.
I defeated Mother Merc.
I sensed her departure. The shadows cast by her destructive anger will fade from these fens in time. Perhaps she will find peace in whatever lies beyond this plane. You did well, I think.
It sounds like you feel sorry for Mother Merc.
She was a dark and dangerous creature, to be sure. I do not mourn her, but I wish her to be at peace. Mother Merc's influence on the hags was strong. With her gone, the balance of the fens will change.
I hope this puts an end to the danger facing the refugees.
Indeed, with Mother Merc gone, the hags will wither and the weird will prosper. You, however, have somewhere else to be. I see a long road ahead of you, traveler. Tread carefully.
Ah, I looked it up. Wynn's voice actress in Dragon Age Origins is Susan Boyd, and this is not her. I'm bummed, but that's the way it goes. Alright, I'm gonna go kill a world boss. Or try.
Here we go.
I've been doing pretty well. Okay, yeah, I got that book. Yeah, for some reason my map just isn't updated in the mini-map, but... Oh, looks like a big old crocodile. Oh no, it's a Momosu.
Never going to get used to that.
Sharp's gonna need some help on this one.
Ha! Second win. Much better. Let's see how you handle this!
Yay!
Good looking out. Recharging that.
An exciting discovery. Huge, delicious eggs. I wonder what kind of bird laid such beauties. No matter. They're mine now. Wait. Why is the sea turned... Captain Blacksword's journal. Damn the pirate queen for tempting me with a fortune in gold. It's all her fault. My ship wrecked on this oblivion-cursed shore. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I ought to record what happened from the beginning. It started when I received word that Governor Fortunata of Anvil was in the market for Wamasu. The more ornery, the better. She was supplying various clients throughout the Gold Coast, including her old Red Sails pirates and the Gold Coast Trading Company. As luck would have it, I had recently heard about a hunter who had captured a Wamasu matron and was looking to unload it for a relative pittance. The path to my disastrous destination started when I took possession of that malignant creature. My crew hauled the crate, Wamasu and all, into the hold. I could tell even then that the creature was cruel and calculating. It stared right into my eyes with its cold, angry orbs. I knew right then that it would be nothing but trouble as we sailed toward Anvil, but I ignored my better sense for the promise of a chest full of tainted gold. Curse my avaricious eyes. We were off the coast of Glenumbra when a whale of a storm blew in. As my ship and crew were tossed about like so many dice in a cup, the Wamasu decided she no longer cared for our generous hospitality. The damn creature shattered her crate like so much driftwood, and she crashed through the hold, and woe be to any of the sailors who happened to be in the way. But it didn't stop there. The hateful beast ate my ship. Beams splintered and planks snapped in the wake of her unbridled fury. I meant to go down with my doomed vessel, but fate had another idea in mind. I woke floating just offshore on a chunk of debris. The wreckage of my ship was all around me, but I didn't see another living soul. No one, that is, except for the damned Wamasu. It made its way to shore and immediately set about making a nest and laying eggs. Well, I'm never going to see Fortunata's gold, and the Wamasu is never going to see the Gold Coast, but I'll be damned if I let it raise its young on this forlorn beach. I'll kill the creature for what it did, or die trying. Oh, Captain Black. I'm gonna guess the die part happened.
Good to get stocked up.
Stibbons!
Good day to you. Have you come at the summons of her ladyship?
A wild Stibbons appears! No, I haven't. Who is her ladyship?
Lady Laurent, a Daggerfall noble who collects ancient artifacts. She's come to the tombs in search of lost treasures. I only hope she hasn't gotten into trouble again.
What do you mean?
Well, supper is nearly ready. It's not like her ladyship to be late for dinner, especially when she asked me to open a bottle of her finest wine. Do you suppose something unpleasant might have befallen her in the tomb?
I don't know. I can find out. Yay! Hey, Stibbons! I love you guys. Started the Jeweled Crown of Anton. She's kind of like Sheogorath. She's fun. Why does it still read that there's a book there? Can it make me kill her again for a book?
Been on the
'Cause I'll
lookout
do
for
it.
that.
Oh, it might be inside the tomb and underground. That's my bet. Alright. The jeweled crown of Anton. Let's pick up the stone. Oh no, it's looks to be a bit up. Can we go a bit up? Okay. Should be. Oh. Oh. I think yeah, the lever was discovered. Okay, that's good. There you are. You weren't up at all. Well, a little up. Okay. I'm coming, Lady Laurent.
Building up a stash. Good thinking.
You've come to the tomb for treasure, of course. Everyone does.
Who are you?
In life, I was the royal seneschal of King Anton of Daggerfall. I died in this tomb along with my king. His Majesty's bones have turned to dust, but I remain. Perhaps we can help each other. One favor for another.
Help? How exactly?
A noble with delusions of treasure hunting entered the tomb earlier. I can help you find the vault she seeks. In return, you shall help me.
What do you need from me?
Let's make sure you actually have the skills I require before we discuss that. I want to see how you deal with the traps my former liege put in place. Go, speak to the lady. We shall talk more later.
Did you know I can see the torch through your head? It's kind of cool. I mean, maybe you don't think so. Okay, I'm going. Lady Laurent.
Ah, another adventurer. Of course you know who I am. I'm famous, as you know. When it comes to ancient artifacts, no one in Glenumbra has more expertise than I do.
Stibbons sent me to find you.
Ah, excellent. My other assistant has been... well, I suppose the technical term is consumed. I told her not to get so close to that giant lizard.
It's not funny.
Anyway, I could use your help.
What do you need?
I'm going to recover the legendary jeweled crown of Anton. Well, as soon as we can get into the locked vault. I understand the place is filthy with traps and undead creatures. You see where I'm going with this, don't you?
You want me to get the crown for you?
Ah, you do understand. 4 keys open the vault. The keys of flames, blades, strife, and crowns. 3 of the keys are hidden in this tomb. I have the 4th key. It's an heirloom. Been in my family for generations. Take it, and get the other keys.
She kind of sounds like Vex's voice actress, too. Who is all over this game, so that would make sense.
Don't just stand there.
I didn't just stand there. Don't just yell at me.
You want to die? Fine.
A king must tend to each of the bright flames of his kingdom equally.
Okay. Alright, it's a puzzle. I'm sure it's not as simple as just running around and activating them. Oh! It is. Maybe it's a speed thing and I have my speed ring. That'd be nice. Yes! Thank you, speed ring. You help in so many unanticipated ways.
A king must be
Still
neither
fighting?
too close nor too distant from those who serve his kingdom.
Okay. Neither
A
too
king must be
close
neither too close nor too distant from those who serve his kingdom.
What do I do? Ah! I just avoid them? Okay. Ah! That's what would have happened if I hadn't been zippy. Okay. Let's go zippy ring. Ways are becoming anticipated. Which is why I'm wearing the ring. Instead of taking off the ring.
A king must use tactics and strategy, never risking his kingdom with reckless actions.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Give me the target's out of range. I'm right here. I am right here. Standing before you. Asking you to let me loot you. Okay. Not as romantic as the original. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop. Ow. Watch what happens.
With blade, a king defeats his enemies. In flames, a kingdom is forged. You have passed the trial of kings. The vault shall open.
Well, yay. Thank you, Seneschal.
Approach the vault. I will speak to you there. I helped you
Won't
get
forget
this
you.
far, so return the favor and free me from this prison.
What do you want me to do?
I can't enter the vault, so listen well. There are 2 crowns inside, but you may take only one. One is King Anton's jeweled crown. The other bears the curse that binds me here. I want you to take the cursed crown.
Will the curse harm me?
No, your soul is already trapped elsewhere.
Yeah.
But if anyone else touches it, they will be bound here. They will take my place, and I will be free.
You want me to doom Lady Laurent?
Greed and cowardice have a price. She craves this tomb's treasures, but she wants you to take the risks. I would consider this justice.
Can't do that to Lady Laurent. I just can't. Ooh, I like that crown. I want to wear that crown. Why can't I wear that crown? I take the crown. Escape the tomb of lost kings. It would probably be stupid for me to jump straight over the side, wouldn't it? Yes, especially with that right there. Okay.
and down they go.
I know she's a horrible person, but I can't stay mad at her. She amuses me. All right, my dear.
Ah, you're back. And in a timely manner. Did you find the crown?
Yes, I have it here.
That's it. The jeweled crown of Anton. You are quite the capable dungeon delver. Please,
I know.
place the crown on the table so that I can look upon its splendor. Stibbons, could you come and put this lovely crown away, please?
Of course,
Yeah.
my lady.
I figured it would end up cursing Stibbons.
Why? Why isn't he bound?
Because you're a jerk. That's why.
There we
You're
are,
doing
my
jerk
lady.
things.
Safe and sound.
No, that's not the right crown!
I know.
You betrayed me! Betrayed me!
No, you gave me a choice. I chose.
I'll go see
yeah.
about more fish for the stew, my lady.
You are safe, my perfect Stibbons. Okay. Huh. I missed a book in the tombs. I don't see a book in the tombs, and I'm not looking for that book. Yeah, I'm not going to read that book, pretty much. I couldn't do that to Stibbons. Couldn't even do it to Lady Laurent. Life is rough enough for Stibbons. Doesn't need any more rough.
Bunch of tightwads around here. Divines bless you, friend. I am a good man who's fallen on hard times. I have 11 starving children that will surely die without a morsel to eat today. Won't you spare a silver for an honest man and his adoring children?
I don't believe him at all, but okay. Silver? Do you mean gold?
Yes, I'm sure a wealthy traveler and hero such as yourself could spare a few gold for a worthy cause. Won't you think of my poor children wasting away?
Very well. Take this and go. Give gold.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
You're
owe you.
welcome. That's okay. Just take a bath, please.
You could brew something nice with that.
Mummies are dressed better than you, my friend. Hi, I'm going to go into your house, because apparently there's a book in there. You don't mind if I barge? Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, Blood's Thorn Ravager. You didn't have to do that to Groundskeeper. Oh.
Easy.
Monomyth, Dragon God, and Missing God. In Mundus, conflict and disparity are what bring change, and change is the most sacred of the 11 forces. Change is the force without focus or origin. Ognathir, Taharlek, Order of PSJJJJ. Simply put, the schism in the human Aldmeri worldview is the mortal's relationship to the divine. Humans take the humble path that they were created by the immortal forces, while the Aldmer claim descent from them. It doesn't seem like much, but it is a distinction that colors the rest of their diverging mythologies. All Tamrielic religions begin the same. Man or Mer, things begin with the dualism of Anu and his other. These twin forces go by many names: Anu Padame, Anuiel Sithis, Akal, Satak Akal, is not. Anuiel is the everlasting ineffable light. Sithis is the corrupting inexpressible. Oh, I did not know that Sithis was Padame. That's cool. Action. In the middle of the gray maybe for Nirn in the Elnofex. In most cultures, Anuiel is honored by his part of the interplay that creates the world, but Sithis is held in highest esteem because he's the one that causes the reaction. Sithis is thus the original creator, an entity who intrinsically causes change without design. Even the Hist acknowledge this being. Anuiel is also perceived of as order, opposed to the Sithis chaos. Perhaps it's easier for mortals to envision change than perfect stasis, for often Anuiel is relegated to the mythic background of Sithis' fancies. In Yokudan folktales, which are among the most vivid in the world, Satak is only referred to a handful of times as the Hum. He has a force so prevalent as to not be really there at all. In any case, from these two beings sprung the Et Ada, the original spirits. To humans, these Et Ada are the gods and demons. To the Aldmer, the Aedra, Deidra, or the ancestors. Yeah, Aedra means ancestors, Deidra means not our ancestor. That's very clear in another book. All the Tamrielic pantheons fill their rosters from these Et Ada, though divine membership often differs from culture to culture. Like Anu and Padame, though, every one of these pantheons contains the archetypes of the dragon god and the missing god. The dragon god and the missing god. Dragon god is always related to time, and he's universally revered as the first god. He is often called Akatosh, whose perch from eternity allows the day. He's the central god of the Cyrodiilic Empire. The missing god is always related to the mortal plane and a key figure in the human Aldmeri schism. The missing refers to either his palpable absence from the pantheon, another mental distress that is interpreted a variety of ways, or the removal of his divine spark by the other immortals. He's often called Lorcan, and his epitaphs are many, equally damnable and devout. Akatosh is Lorcan? Huh. I'm learning things. Note that Tamriel and the mortal plane do not exist yet. The Grey Maybe is still the playground of the original spirits. Some are more bound to Anu's light, others to the unknowable void. Their constant flux and interplay increase in their number, and their personalities take long to congeal. When Akatosh forms, time begins, and it becomes easier for some spirits to realize themselves as beings with a past and a future. The strongest of the recognizable spirits crystallize Mephala, Arche, Ifre, Magnus, Ruptka, etc., etc. Others remain as concepts, ideas, or emotions. One of the strongest of these, a barely formed urge that the others call Lorcan, details a plan to create Mundus, the mortal plane. Humans, with the exception of the Red Guard, see this act as a divine mercy, an enlightenment whereby lesser creatures can reach immortality. Aldmer, with the exception of the Dark Elves, see this act as a cruel deception, a trick that sundered their connection to the spirit plane. Sorry I broke into your house because you're dead. That's rude. Okay. Skip, don't throw up on us. No, nobody likes that. Ancient Scrolls of the Dwemer 3. The Importance of Ware by Marabar Sul. Chieftain of Othrabar gathered his wise men together and said, "Every morning a tenfold of my flock are found butchered. What is the cause?" Fangbith, the war leader, said, "A monster may be coming down from the mountains and devouring your flock." Gorik the healer said, "A strange new disease perhaps is to blame." Aaron the priest said, "We must sacrifice to the goddess for her to save us." The wise men made sacrifices, and while they waited for their answers from the goddess, Fangbith went to mentor Joltereg and said, "You taught me well how to forge the cudgel of Zolia, and how to wield it in combat, but I must know when it is wise to use my skill. Do I wait for the goddess to reply, or the medicine to work, or do I hunt the monster that I know is in the mountains?" "When is not important," said Joltereg. "Where is all that is important." So Fangbith took his Zolik cudgel in hand and walked far through the dark forest until he came to the base of the great mountain. There he met two monsters. One, bloodied with the flesh of the chieftain of Othrabar's flock, fought him while its mate fled. Fangbith remembered what his master had taught him, that where was all that was important. He struck the monster on each of its 5 vital points: head, groin, throat, back, and chest. With 5 blows to the 5 points, the monster was slain. He was too heavy to carry with him, but still triumphant, Fangbith returned to Othrabar. "I say I have slain the monster that ate your flock," he cried. "What proof have you that you have slain a monster?" asked the chieftain. "I say I have saved your flock with my medicine," says Gorik the healer. "I say the goddess has saved the flock by my sacrifices," said Baron the priest. 2 mornings went by and the flocks were safe, but on the morning of the 3rd day, another tenfold of the chieftain's flock was found butchered. Gorik the healer went to his study to find a new medicine. Baron the priest prepared more sacrifices. Fangbith took his Zolik cudgel in hand again, and he walked far through the dark forest until he came to the base of the great mountain. There he met the other monster, bloodied with the flesh of the chieftain of Othrabar's flock. They did battle, and again Fangbith remembered what his master had taught him, that where was all that was important. He struck the monster 5 times on the head, and it fled. Chasing it along the mountains, he struck it 5 times in the groin, and it fled. Running through the forest, Fangbith overtook the monster and struck it 5 times in the throat, and it fled. Entering into the fields of Othrabar, Fangbith overtook the monster and struck it 5 times in the back, and it fled. At the foot of the stronghold, the chieftain and his wise men emerged to the sound of the monster wailing. There they beheld the monster that had slain the chieftain's flock. Fangbith struck the monster 5 times in the chest, and it was slain. A great feast was held in Fangbith's honor, and the flock of Othrabar was never again slain. Joltereg embraced his student and said, "You have at last learned the importance of where you strike your blows."
We cannot resist much longer. They will break us. We can't resist much longer. Soon we'll be forced to answer their call.
What's wrong, Spirit?
Our masters were the ancient rulers of High Rock, at rest these many years. Now, Bloodthorn cultists have disturbed the burial mounds and stolen the ruling regalia from the tombs of our kings. We can't stop them.
What prevents you from stopping them?
The Bloodthorn drain our wills. If you recover the regalia they stole and return it to the crypts, it will restore our leaders. They are strong spirits, and our joined wills can resist the cultists. I sense the regalia. It is still nearby.
I'll find the regalia and return it to the crypts.
These Bloodthorn are nothing more than grave robbers. Take back the regalia they stole and return each item to its proper tomb. They hide the items in the groundskeeper's cottage, south of the burial mounds.
Do you know why they took the regalia?
To control our ancient kings, just as they try to control us. We were at peace, stranger, silent in watchful slumber. Then the screaming began. Not just in our minds, but in our souls.
You were screaming?
No, not us. At least not at first. They were loud, insistent voices, crying in our minds. Screaming, submit, submit. They broke our will and shattered our defenses. They want us to join them.
What do you know about the Bloodthorn?
They're servants of Molag Bal. They seek to conquer Glenumbra. Please stop them. We won't be able to resist the Bloodthorn much longer.
Okay, back to the house.
Let's ride.
Yeah. Okay, the tombs are up here. It's just gotta be unpleasant. I'm just eviling around. King of the Knight of the Iron Sun. Just eviling around, you don't even know you have less than 7 seconds to live.
Once again, the Iron King's flame will burn those who try to steal his blade.
Awesome.
Once more, the pride of the Golden Prince protects his treasures.
Excellent. Sharp, are you down there? Did you do everything? You killed everybody? Thank you. This way shrine.
That's it.
Doesn't seem fair, does it? Good. Ancient Scrolls of the Dwemer 2. The Seed. The hamlet villages of Lorik was a quiet, peaceful Dwemer community nestled in the grey and tan dunes and boulders of the Dijasite. No vegetation of any kind grew in Lorik, though there was a blackened vestige of long-dead trees scattered throughout the town. Arriving by caravan, Candida looked at her new home with despair. She was used to the forest land of the north, where her father's family had hailed from. Here there was no shade, little water, and a great open sky. The land looked dead. Her mother's family took Candida and her younger brother Nevithin, and they were very kind to the orphans. But she felt lonely in the alien village. It was not until she met an old Argonian woman who worked in the water factory that Candida found a friend. Her name was Sigertha, and she said that her family had lived in Lorik centuries before the Dwemer arrived, when it was a great and beauteous forest. "Why did the trees die?" asked Candida. "When there were Argonians only in this land, we never cut trees, for we had no need for fuel or wooden structures such as you possess. When the Dwemer came, we allowed them to use the plants as they needed them, provided they never touched the Hist, which were sacred to us and to the land. For many years we lived peaceably. Nobody wanted for anything. What happened? Some of your scientists discovered that by distilling a certain tree sap, molding it, and drying it, they could create a resilient kind of armor called resin," said Sigeth. "Most of the trees that grew here had very thin ichor in their branches, but not the Hist. Many of them fairly glistened with sap, which made the Dwemer merchants greedy. They hired a woodsman named Junin to start clearing the sacred arbors for profit." The old Argonian woman looked to the dusty ground and sighed. Of course, the Argonians cried out against it. It was our home, and the Hist, once gone, would never return. The merchants reconsidered, but Junin took it on his own to break our spirit. He proved one terrible, bloody day that his prodigious skill with the axe could be used against people as well as trees. Any Argonian who stood in his way was hewn asunder. The Dwemer people of Lorik closed their doors and their ears to the cries of murder. "Horrible!" gasped Candida. "It is difficult to explain," said Sigertha, "but the deaths of our living ones was not nearly as horrible to us as the death of our trees. You must understand that to my people, the Hist are where we come from and where we are going. Destroying our bodies is nothing. Destroying our trees annihilates us utterly. When Junin turned his axe on the Hist, he killed the land. The water disappeared, the animals died, and all the other life that the trees nourished crumbled and dried to dust." "Then why are you still here?" asked Candida. "Why didn't you leave?" "We are trapped. I am one of the last of a dying people. Few of us are strong enough to live away from our ancestral groves, and sometimes, even now, there is a perfume in the air of Lorik that gives us life. It will not be long until we are all gone." Candida felt tears welling up in her eyes. "Then I will be alone in this horrible place with no trees and no friends." "We Argonians have an expression," said Sigarth with a sad smile, taking Candida's hand. "The best soil for a seed is found in your heart." Candida looked into the palm of her hand and saw that Sigarth had given her a small black pellet. It was a seed. "It looks dead. It can only grow in one place in all Lorik," said the old Argonian, "outside an old cottage in the hills outside town. I cannot go there, for the owner would kill me on sight. Like all my people, I am too frail to defend myself now, but you can go there and plant the seed." "What will happen?" said Candida. "Will the Hist return?" "No, but some part of their power will." That night Candida stole from her house and into the hills. She knew the cottage Sigartha had mentioned. As she approached it, the door opened and an old but powerfully built man appeared with a mighty axe slung over his shoulder. "What are you doing here, child?" he demanded. "In the dark. I almost took you to be a lizard man." "I've lost my way in the dark. I'm trying to get back to Lorik." "Be on your way, then." "Do you have a candle I might have?" she asked piteously. I've been walking in circles, and I'm afraid I'll only return back here without light." The old man grumbled and walked into his house. Quickly, Candida dug a hole in the dry dirt and buried the seed as deeply as she could. He returned with a lit candle. "See to it you don't come back here," he growled, "or I'll chop you in half." He returned to his house. The next morning, when he awoke and opened the door, he found that his cottage was entirely sealed within an enormous tree. He picked up his axe and delivered blow after blow to the wood, but he could never break through. He tried side chops, but the wood healed itself. He tried an upper chop, but the wood sealed. Much time went by before someone discovered old Jehunun's emaciated body lying in front of his open door, still holding his blunted, broken axe. What he'd been chopping with it was a mystery, but the rumor spread that hist sap was found on the blade. Shortly thereafter, small flowers began pushing up through the town's dry dirt. The hist did not return, but at twilight, the shadows of great trees would fill the streets. Thank you for letting me read, Sharp. Okay. I am... where? How did I get up there? Oh, okay. I am okay. I just went north. Gotcha.
Fools can't even steal properly. Never mind take down the Coldane cartel.
See if it's down somewhere.
Once more, the Ivory Lord's tusk defends his treasures.
Scholar Garrick's journal. These old burial mounds should provide some inspiration for my writing. Ancient heroes of Glenumbra are entombed here. I'm sure they have some interesting exploits I can expand upon, something that will get me the recognition I deserve, and finally get me a cushy position with a noble family. A duke or a duchess as a sponsor would be just the thing I need to advance my writing career. Regular meals, a nice roof over my head, conversation with people who know how to read. There's so little information on the people buried here. Donald Dellin, the king of Glenumbra. Never heard of the fellow, but I can make him interesting. Heroic. Maybe give him a band of loyal warriors, fending off whoever would be attacking them. Note to self, look up significant battles in the First Era that took place in Glenumbra for reference. I think I could spin an entire series around this. Each hero gets their own tale. I haven't seen anything in old history texts about this Dellin fellow, or someone called the Golden Prince or the Ivory Lord for that matter. Their stories are lost to time. Lots of heroic battles, maybe a little romance. I did spot a tomb for the Emerald Princess. Of course, she must be beautiful, with eyes the color of purest emeralds, and a brave warrior. She and the king can be star-crossed lovers. I just need to flesh this out a bit. I don't want to write some sort of silly romance, after all. This has got to be real history. Just enhanced a little. This is bound to get me published. Best of all, it will put that hack Filarico off his drink. Scholar of intriguing mysteries. Pretentious cat scribbles, I say. All he does is make up nonsense about his adventures and chauffeur his need for so-called mystery. I can do so much better than that. Oh. Yeah, that's probably Scholar Jarik's body, isn't it? Alas, he could not do better than that.
Once more, the Green Aegis defends its lady's resting place.
Oh, she didn't even get her own voice.
Sheathe your weapon. I may be dead, but I am not your enemy.
Who are you?
Mortal, know that I am Donel Dellen, once King of Daggerfall. Your deeds have not gone unnoticed, and I thank you for your help. However, the danger has not passed. These necromancers plan to enslave us and turn us against our descendants. The Bloodthorn no longer desecrate our tombs, but our faithful knights are still at risk. The grave robbers use soul-twisting sorcery to enslave them.
What should I do?
Slay these Bloodthorn cultists. Rescue the spirits they are trying to enslave. To my great sorrow, Sir Grandin has already heeded their evil call. Find his tomb to the east and destroy him. When that is done, find me on the Monument Hill.
I'll free the spirits and destroy Sir Grandin.
Slay the Bloodthorns. Break their hold over our servants. Our servants have been loyal and true. Such commitment must not be repaid with slavery.
Who is Sir Grandin?
Sir Grandin was a great hero of High Rock. Standing alone in the pass to Stormhaven, he turned back the raging Nord invaders. As the first spirit to fall to the Bloodthorns, he will be a fearsome opponent.
Screams have ended, and I can think again. I must attend to my lords.
Don't throw up on me. Nobody likes that. And seriously, nobody likes that. And I'm not being racist. It's not undead culture. Maybe it is. Maybe I am.
Thank you, champion. Your help is greatly appreciated.
You're welcome. And may you not be thrown up upon. I am going to adopt that as my own personal culture, and anybody who disagrees with me is being neatist.
At long last, my thoughts are once again my own. Thanks to you.
Good. Okay, Sir Grandin.
You return. My brother and sister monarchs await word of your success.
It's done. Your spectral knights are free.
We knew you could defeat the Bloodthorn cultists. And now, the time has come. Please remain and bear witness.
Very well.
Without your aid, we'd be slaves, forced by the Bloodthorns to smite our own descendants. Even kings may bend a knee to those they honor. Release us to our final rest. Have we your leave to depart?
I release you to your final rest. Farewell, King Donald.
Farewell, mortal. Your actions this day shall prove a decisive blow to the Bloodthorn cult and their evil master.
Okay. Oh wow, yeah, I moved pretty much as far north as you can go. Alright, I'm gonna go a little bit norther and do the delve that's up here while I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. Quest. Boss. Note.
Anything good?
It's all good, Sharp. It's all good when you steal things.
Let's go.
Oh man, there are people in stocks. Oh. And I can't help them.
Let him twist in the wind.
Hastily scribbled note. Copy this message and pass it around. The Bloodthorn cult may betray us. They aren't doing well, and we think they may be getting desperate. This note contains recipes for salves and potions to help fend off their festering magic. Be prepared. I should deliver this to a Lion Guard healer. Okay. I don't know which path to take. Hopefully they'll both get me there eventually.
Scatter! Burn! Who's better than us? Nobody.
You asked for it. You should have run.
Frederick orders Crypt Watch. The feeble Lion Guard has left yet another fort abandoned and ripe for plunder. This one, called Crypt Watch Fort, is located near Crosswich. Your orders are simple. Find the fort, turn it into a base of operations for the Redwooks. What could be better than a fort we can move right into? It'll help us further establish our presence in King's Guard, and it will provide another layer of protection in case the Bloodthorn cult turns against us. Also, prepare for a meeting with Valanui and her entourage. It would be good to add their unique skills to our cause.
Should have been more prepared.
That we met Laurent. Okay. Looks like that's it. Fortune in failure. Speak to healer Alizon. Is okay.
The wounds inflicted by Angof's minions fester rapidly. They're difficult to heal.
Found this recipe.
This is interesting. We suspected the Red Rooks of collaborating with the Bloodthorns, but it's heartening to know that their alliance is fragile. We can use this to our advantage, and I can also make good use of these healing recipes.
I have little time to waste.
The Ivory Lord, a hero born. Volume 3. Everywhere Eric looked, he saw white armor and Alessian banners. It wasn't a scouting party that the mercenaries attacked. It was an entire cohort of Alessian soldiers. The mercenaries fought hard, but they were undisciplined. They lunged at the wall of armored soldiers like drunks in a tavern brawl. They were cut down one after another with relative ease. The Alessians simply blocked and parried each attack, taunting their foolish foes before cutting them down. The only members of the mercenary band that appeared to be having anything close to success were Kalandin and Kishna. The Iliad Knight, Kalandin's massive two-handed sword sliced through armor, flesh, and bone with equal ease, while the Khajiit Krishna's twin blades twirled around her in an exotic dance of death. Eric watched in awe as the battle played out in front of him. He knew that if he charged in to help the mercenaries, he'd be cut down before he could so much as scratch an Alessian shield. He would be cut down before he could so much as scratch an Alessian shield with his rusted sword. But if he turned and ran, and if any of the mercenaries survived, he'd be remembered as a coward and a fake. They might even come after him, looking for revenge. All these thoughts and more bounced around and collided inside his head, leaving him frozen with indecision and fear. But nothing brings clarity of mind like a sharp blade cutting through the air in front of you and rushing toward your face. Eric barely dodged out of the way, just as an Alessian soldier backed into him and knocked him to the ground. The rusty blade that Eric had been holding so tightly flew from his hand as he landed on his back. His helmet slammed into the wall he had been standing next to. For a moment, everything went black. Next thing Eric knew, Linden was standing beside him and lifting him to his feet. The street around him was littered with Alessian corpses. The Iliad Knight said nothing. He simply turned and walked back into battle. Eric had seen enough. He couldn't take it anymore. With growing frenzy, he looked for a path of escape. He could count the number of remaining mercenaries on one hand. The sea of Alessians seemed as wide and deep as the waves that crashed along the Daggerfall coast. At that moment, Eric knew that he didn't want to die. He picked a direction and started to run, right past the most frantic and bloody fighting. As Eric's legs carried him past the combatants, he reached down and grabbed a sword laying near one of the many corpses. Drawing on reserves he didn't know he had, he increased his speed. He focused on reaching the nearest open doorway or getting around the next corner. He knew that he could lose himself in the back streets if he could just get away from the fighting. He was close. He was going to make it. As Eric turned the corner to make his escape, the sword he carried before him slid into something soft and wet. He was staring into the face of an Alessian officer who looked as surprised as he was. The officer wore multiple badges of honor, but not one of them had been enough to save him. Eric's blade had slid into the space between where the officer's armor connected front to back, slicing between ribs, puncturing a lung. The officer gasped as his eyes rolled back and his knees buckled. As the officer dropped to the ground, he let go of the ivory horn he'd been holding. It rolled to a stop next to Eric's right foot. Eric stared at the horn for a moment, then he picked it up and stowed it in his belt. He had no idea what he was going to do with it, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. That's when the arrow buried itself in Eric's back. He stumbled forward as pain radiated from the point of impact. Already his vision was starting to blur. He saw the Khajiit and the elf run toward him. He saw an army of Alessians chasing after him. He tried to breathe, but that made everything hurt even more. And then everything faded, and Eric saw nothing at all. Okay, it seems like a good place to end. Looking out over the foggy moors. And we will continue later. Thank you for joining me.